Hello and welcome to this webinar. You made the right decision, and trust me, I'm not going to take a lot of your time. In this webinar, you're going to learn how to turn your knowledge into income. Let's get started. Now, I'm going to start with something that might sound uncomfortable. You have skills, you have experience, you've helped people, probably even people come to you for advice. You even have years of knowledge sitting in your head, right? But somehow, you're still asking, what exactly should I sell? What should I be known for? What should I post? Why am I getting attention but not enough clients? How do I actually turn my expertise into income? If you've asked yourself all these questions, today's webinar is for you because we're going to talk about what happens between knowing something and building a business around it. Welcome to today's webinar. By the end of this session, I want you to have a much clearer picture of what you could build around your expertise. We're going through these four things. Number one, how to identify the business behind what you already know. And then we're going to learn how you can become known for something specific instead of trying to talk to everybody. And number three, how to turn your knowledge into an offer people can actually understand and buy. And number four, finally, we are going to learn how to connect your personal brand, content, and offer so you're not just creating content, you're building towards clients. Are you excited? Because I am. And you want to stick around because at the end, I'll also show you the resource I created for anyone who wants to take this idea further and actually work through them step by step. For those who don't know me, I'm Anne. Hello, that's me. And I work with coaches, consultants, and service providers who want to build a strong personal brand, create profitable offers, and turn their expertise into business that actually feels intentional, structured, and scalable. And one thing I've noticed again and again is there's so many smart people sitting on valuable knowledge but struggling to turn it into clear business. And I understand why. There's so much information online. Today, one person is telling you to focus on your personal brand. Someone else is telling you to create a course. Another person tells you to post 3 times a day. Someone else tells you to build a funnel. Then somebody tells you that you don't need, you need to have a completely different niche. And before you know it, you're consuming a lot, but actually building very little. That's one of the reasons I created this blueprint because I wanted to bring the pieces together in a way that makes sense. Not just here's how to post on Instagram or here's how to create an offer, but how your expertise, positioning, personal brand, offer, content, trust, and sales can actually work together. Because I believe your knowledge can become more than something you know, it can become something you begin building today. The first part of this strategy, which actually works because I've worked with different coaches and service providers with the strategies that I'm showing you today. So the first part is finding the business that is inside your expertise. So the first thing that you do is think about the expertise in these areas. And first, let's start here because I think this is where many people go wrong. They want to build a business, so they immediately start looking for a business idea. Actually, most people just start looking for a business idea, and yet they don't begin by researching on what areas they have strength in. So if you're already a coach, a consultant, or a service provider, you may not need another idea. You already have one. You just need to work on what you have. So you may need to look closely at what you already have. Think about your expertise in these areas, what you have learned, what you have experienced, what you have helped people solve. And there is another simple way I like to think about this. This is through pain, passion, professional experience. Those are three areas that you can actually build around. So, what problems have you personally experienced that is caused by pain, which you can transform into a business? What do you genuinely care about? That is passion. You could be a professional in an area, but you really care about pets, for example, dogs, and you've built experience and expertise around raising dogs, staying with dogs, when they need to be vaccinated. You can be able to get someone through it all. So that is building business around your passion and professional experience is, have you developed professional skills or experience in what is it that you've built over years professionally that you can get someone around it? Now, look for the overlap of these three: passion, pain, professional experience. So you could simply say, I'm a life coach, but that's very broad. What if you discover that the people who consistently come to you are women who feel stuck in their careers and want to confidently move into leadership? Now, there you realize that you can come up with something more clearer. You're not trying to monetize everything. You are identifying the part of your expertise that solves a meaningful problem for a specific person. And that is where your business starts. Now, I want you to take at least 30 seconds or a minute and write down, what do people already come to me for help? And don't overthink it. Think about the questions people ask you repeatedly. Those questions that you're going to write down may contain clues about your business. So take a minute and go and write down. Now let's continue. The part two of this strategy is choosing who you want to be known for. And this is where positioning comes in. You don't have to be known for everything. In fact, trying to be known for everything makes it harder for people to remember you. Imagine if you met someone and they say, I help people with mindset, business, relationships, confidence, and personal growth. You might think like, okay, but what would I actually hire you for? Now picture this. I meet you and I ask you, what do you do? You tell me, I help small business owners create websites for their business. Do you see how clear that is? And this does not mean that you don't know, you only know one thing, that is creating website. You know a lot. But it means that you've organized your expertise around a clear problem and results. Now let's talk about something very interesting. The elevator speech. This is someone getting into an elevator and maybe probably going from up to basement or something. But an elevator speech is where you're able to tell someone what you do by the time you get to the next floor, or like from ground floor to fourth floor or that floor. So once you know who you help and what you help them achieve, you should be able to explain your business in a simple sentence. And this is why I'm asking you, are you able to tell someone what you do in one breath? And I'm not talking about giving a long speech about your business. I'm talking about being able to answer. So what do you do? If you met someone at the lift and they asked you, what do you do? Without giving them the entire life story of your business. For example, instead of saying, I do AI automation, I help businesses with technology. This is quite broad, and this person may not clearly be able to understand what kind of businesses do you exactly help. You could say, I help small businesses automate repetitive work using AI so that they can save time and operate more efficiently. Do you see how clear that is? This person will be actually be very interested in learning how you could help other businesses or a business they know or even their own business, because you are clear on who you help, how you help them, and the results that they get in one sentence. That is called an elevator speech. I'd want you to take a minute and write this down, work on your positioning, because you need to begin to position yourself specifically on who you help, the results they'll get working with you, and what you do. So you can say, I help dash achieve dash through what you do. If it sounds complicated, don't worry, just simplify it. Imagine you're explaining it to someone who knows nothing about your industry. Could they understand what you do if they saw what you've written, or if you told them what it is that you do using this formula? Now, this little sentence might look simple, but it becomes the foundation for so much of your business. It can influence your bio, because this will help you in calling out your exact audience in your bio, in your social media bio, and attracting the right audience and the right clients to you. It also becomes part of your website, your introduction, when you're talking, when you're writing, in your socials, and even in your content, also your sales content. So, because when you are clear about who you help and the results you create, it becomes much easier to decide what you're actually selling. Now, this is where this whole strategy starts to get exciting, because this is where now money starts coming in. And how do you turn your expertise into an offer? Let's start by looking at what an offer is. It sounds simple, but it confuses a lot of people. An offer is not just by saying, I do coaching, I do consulting, I have a course that can teach you how to do one, two, three. All those describes your service or the product that you provide. An offer is that feeling that makes someone understand, what are you helping me with? Who is this for? What will this change for me? How are you going to help me move from position A to position B? And what exactly am I getting? That is an offer. It should offer a clear solution to a specific problem for a specific person with a specific result in mind. Once you understand that, then you will be able to structure and bring in, package it in a way that makes someone feel like this is the right person to work with. Because people don't buy the thing, they buy the change. And this is one of the biggest shifts I want you to make. People don't usually wake up thinking, I want to buy a 6-week coaching program. They're thinking about the problem they want to change. Let's use something very simple, like fitness. Imagine I tell you I sell online fitness coaching. That's okay. But what does that actually mean to the customer? Now imagine if I told you I help busy women build a daily exercise habit from home with simple 1-minute workouts. Now you can picture the person, you can understand the problem, you can understand the approach, you can even imagine the change. The woman doesn't really want 1-minute exercise. She wants to feel like she's finally taking care of her body despite having a busy schedule. Now that's the transformation that your client is looking for. So you must understand that people don't want to just buy your service, they want to buy the change that you will bring them. For example, if a social media manager, someone is struggling with growing their brand online through social media, so you must show them the change they will expect to get through working with you. And that brings us to transformation. So what is transformation? Transformation is simply the movement from where your client is now to where they want to be. Your client maybe has 10 followers, they're struggling, they don't even know how to create content, they don't know how to post. You are the one to bring in the transformation from having low followers, no leads, no sales from their social media, to getting daily leads, daily calls, daily inquiries, daily sales. So that transformation is what really people want. Every transformation has a before and after. If someone has a wedding 30 days from today and they want to fit into their favorite dress, then the transformation they need is to lose maybe 5 kg or 8 kg within those 30 days. So they could be looking for a program or exercises that will help them shed that weight. So the transformation that you're selling to them at the moment would be, I will help you shed 5 kgs in 30 days. Buy this ebook that will help you do 1, 2, 3. That is called transformation. Another example of that I gave of a woman who is busy, always busy in the office, comes home late, and really she's not able to go to the gym. So her before is, I'm too busy to exercise. The after buying your product or buying your service should be, I now have a simple exercise routine I can actually stick to. I hope you're understanding the transformation that you need to sell to people so that they can trust and actually tell you, here is my money, take it and give me the transformation. Now, let's quickly talk about connecting your brand through content and finally making sales. And this is where most people get frustrated because they post consistently, they get views, they get likes, and maybe gain followers. But then they look at their business and think, why aren't these people becoming my clients? One reason is that content shouldn't exist separately from your business. You should always connect your content to your business. So this is what happens because the content that you create should help people move through a journey. And this is the journey formula. If you begin creating content today, you will have people's attention. So before someone gets interested in your content, they may need to see you over and over. And that is where consistency comes in. You need to keep creating content. So you will grab people's attention, and this is the top of funnel. These are many people just paying attention to your content. And some of them, for example, if there were 1,000 people watching your videos or reading your content online, 1,000 people, you will have lesser people getting interested. So maybe about 600 people will be interested. They go to your bio, they want to read more about you. So your content is grabbing attention and their interest at this point. Then what happens with time, they continue consuming your content, is that they begin trusting you. And so they start researching more about you. They'll Google more about your business. And don't forget, they're also looking at your competitors. So this is where you start building trust with them through your content and your brand. And then they'll start desiring to work with you. Because remember, they have a problem that they want solved. But once they trust you, and then your brand and your content clearly states the transformation that you can help them make, then they start to have desire to work with you, to buy from you, to get into a call with you. And then finally, they will take action. So your content should take people through this journey. So for you to help people through the funnel, the kind of contents that you should create are the ones that will get you attention. Some contents that will teach people about how they can solve a problem, or how your product can help them, live a better life. Also, share your experience, share your perspective, and also create content that will help answer doubts. Remember that every content that you do should not say, buy my program. Your audience should gradually understand who you are through the content, what you know, who you help, what problem you solve, and what's like to work with you. And eventually, naturally, they will want to work with you. That's why your content becomes part of a business instead of just another task on your to-do list. Now, let's put it all together. This is the route you're going to take. You start with your expertise. This could be an area you have pain on, or you're overcoming some pain, you have an experience on that area. You're a professional in a specific area, or you have an experience on a certain area that you know you can help someone achieve something or a transformation in their life through the experience that you have. Then you get to be clear on who you help and what you help them achieve. And once you have clarity, it will give your personal brand direction. And when this happens, then your expertise becomes a clear offer. Your content attracts and builds relationship with the right people. And with consistency and proof, you build trust with your target audience. And naturally, you start converting the people that trust you into your customers, and therefore you make sales. So, how do you scale? When you start building sales from your customers, you will build a system and then additional offers that allows your business to scale. And how do you build more offers? When people trust you, they will buy maybe an ebook from you. That is one offer. They will go through the ebooks and feel like they would want a one-on-one coaching call with you, or they'd want to have an on-one further gym instructions with you. They want you to become a personal trainer. And therefore, you will scale by selling to them not only the ebook, but the one-on-one coaching or one-on-one trainer. And that is how you simply scale your business, through having more offers into your business. Now, as we conclude, if there's one thing I want you to take away from today's conversation, it's that you don't need to know everything. You don't even need a huge audience. You don't need to have many offers. You don't need a complicated funnel. All you need to understand is you need to clearly come out on who you help, what problem you help them solve, what transformation you can help create, why they should trust you, and how they can work with you. Once you know that, then you begin to build consistently around that clarity. And if you're sitting here thinking, okay, I understand the idea, but I actually need help putting all this together, this is why I created the Expert to Income Blueprint. I created this guide for coaches, consultants, and for service providers who know they have something valuable. They need help turning that expertise into a real business. Inside, we walk through the journey we've talked about today. We start by finding the business inside your expertise. Then we work on what you want to be known for and how to position yourself. And then we move into building a personal brand people can trust. From there, we work on turning your expertise into profitable offers. Then we look at content that attract the right people and content that supports sales. Then finally, we move into client acquisition and monetization. This is a practical 90-day brand to cash plan to help you put the pieces together. And also included practical exercises, the prompts that will make this very easy for you, because I didn't want this to be something you read, highlight, and forget. I wanted you to be able to sit down with it and actually work through your business. So if today's webinar helped you see your business differently, but you're thinking, I need the whole process in front of me so I can actually work through it, that's what the guide for. So at the description, I'm going to leave a link on how you can access this. It's on a great discount just for the first people who come in through. And I'd want you to just create time to go through it and go through it bits by bits so that you can practice and implement and begin to build your personal brand that will bring you business.